Good morning students, and yesterday we thought that one of the families of flowering plant, Fabaceae family, and today we are going to discuss the another dicot family, Solanaceae. Solanaceae is commonly called as potato family. Fabaceae commonly called as a pea family. And Leguminaceae commonly called as a legume family, one of the largest flowering plant family, Leguminaceae, second largest Leguminaceae. And Leguminaceae is further classified into three subfamilies. One is Papilionoideae, and second one is Cisalpinoideae, the third one is Mimosaceae. And Papilionoideae is commonly called as Fabaceae. Yesterday we thought that, and today Solanaceae is another second dicot family. According to NCERT syllabus, it is commonly called as potato family. But according to Bentham-Hooker system of classifications, how they are classified? Classifications of this family, it belongs to kingdom. Plantae. Division. Angiospermy. Class Dicotyledone. Subclass Gamopetalae. Comes to the series Bicarpellatae. Then order Polemoniales. Family Solanaceae. So these are the systematic position of Solanaceae. The Solanaceae comes under the kingdom Plantae. Then division Angiosperm, it is also called a flowering plant. Then class Dicotyledone. Already you may know that what are the characteristic features of Dicotyledone. Next is subclass Gamopetalae. So in Bentham-Hooker's classification, the dicot class dicots are further classified into three subclasses. One is polypetalae, gamopetalae, then monoclinidae. Then one is called gamopetalae. Petals are fused with one another. Gamopetalae. It comes under the series Bicarpellatae. Bicarpellatae in the sense it composes of only two carpels. Bicarpellatae. Then order Polemoniales, family Solanaceae. So these members actually includes 90 genera. The members of this family that includes 90 genera and 2000 species. It is also widely distributed in tropical and subtropical countries, even also present in some temperate regions also present. So these are the distributions of this family. If you take the general characteristic features of this family, general characters. The first one is habit. Some species are annual herbaceous species. Herbs. Some of them shrubs. For example, Cestrum nocturnum. Cestrum nocturnum is commonly called as night jasper. So herbaceous plant is a soft stem or soft plant. The leaf, they complete the life cycle only 1 year. It's a soft. And some species are shrubs I mean a large size herb is called shrubs. For example, Cestum nocturnum, night jasmines. And rarely trees. For example, tobacco, Nicotiana tobacco. Nicotiana tobacco. And some other species for Solanum grandifolium. Solanum grandifolium. These are the example of trees which is belongs to Solanaceae family. If take the root system, it is a taproot systems. Because the root which is directly they are developed from the radical part of the embryo is called taproot system. It is a characteristic of dicarpate. And next, you take the stem characters. Stem is aerial stem, erect, they present above the soil, erect stem, rarely woody stem, rarely woody stems. But in some species of Solanaceae, stems are covered with the yellow spines. These are commonly called prickly. Prickly spines are present. For example, Solanum xanthocarpum. Solanum xanthocarpum. It's commonly called as conductor tree. So the stem, even leaves also covered with the yellow color spines are present. Solanum xanthocarpum prickly. But in some species, the undergrowth stems are modified to perform and store food material. For example, potato. Potato, underground stem modifications. Stem modifications. So these are stem characters. Stem, actually aerial stem, present above the soil. Above the soil. Erect stem, they can erect stem. Rarely woody stems. In some species, stems are covered with prickle or thorn-like such as external outer growth or spine-like such as are present. For example, Solanum xanthocarpum. In potato, underground stems are modified to store the food materials. If take the leaf characters, leaf, simple leaf, petiolate, then exstipulate, exstipulate. Stipules are absent, exstipulate. Then unicostate, it shows unicostate reticulate variations. Unicostate reticulate variation. Then alternate phyllotaxy. Alternate phyllotaxy. These are simple with or without incisors. The lamina is, when the lamina is entire, there is said to be simple leaf. With the petiole, said to be petiolate leaf. Exstipulate, stipules are absent. It shows unicostate reticulate. What do you mean by unicostate? There is only one midrib. It's a leaf. Only one midrib arises from the base to the apex, from which several lateral veins are developed. Each lateral veins are further branched out to form vein legs, look like a network like such. Uni means single midrib arises from the base to the apex, unicostate. And alternate phyllotaxy, only one leaves are attached at each node alternatively, alternate phyllotaxy. But except in tomato, what's the binomial name? Lycopersicum esculendum. Lycopersicum esculendum. The leaves are pinnately compound leaves. Pinnately compound leaf. I mean there is a rachis from which attach many leaflets. is called pinnately compound leaves are seen in the members of Solanaceae. For example, tomato, its binomial is Lycopersicum esculum. The next stem characters. Sorry. Okay. The next inflorescence. In generally, the Solanaceae members are cymose inflorescence. What is called cymose inflorescence? It is arranged in basipetal, and many pedicel flowers are arranged in basipetal. I mean, older flowers are present at the apex, young flowers at the base. These are called cymose inflorescence. It is a general. But except some species, cymose inflorescence, these are called monocaseal helicoid cyme. For example, Solanum tuberosum. Helicoid cyme, the further lateral branches are developed only one directions. It appears like a helical in appearance, so they are called helicoid cyme, monocaseal helicoid cyme. For example, Solanum tuberosum, it is a binomial of potato. And some species are monocaseal scarpioid cyme. For example, Atroba belladonna. Another one example, Solanum nigrum. Solanum nigrum. Here, the lateral branches are developed alternatively to the left and right in a zigzag manner. Look like a fan-shaped cyme. These are called Rhipidium inflorescence. Rhipidium inflorescence are also called fan-shaped cyme. These are called scarpioid cyme. For example, Atroba belladonna, Solanum nigrum. So generally cymose inflorescence, and some species are helicoid cyme. Some of them are scarpioid cyme. Helicoid cyme, for example, Solanum tuberosum. Scarpioid cyme, for example, Atroba belladonna. Some other species for Solanum nigrum, it is commonly called Manithakkali or Manathakali. That shows fan-shaped cyme. The lateral branches are arises alternatively to the left and right in a zigzag manner. The next flowering characters, next general character flower. Flowering characters bracteate, bract is present. E bracteolate referenced by EBRL, bracteoles are absent. Pedicellate flowers with pedicel stalk of flower is present. Complete flower, and when all the four whorls are present in a flower, they are said to be complete flower. Other four whorls such as calyx, corolla, andrecium, gynoecium is present, such flower is said to be complete flower. If any one of the whorl is absent, they are said to be incomplete flower. But Solanaceae is generally complete flower. Bisexual, both the sex organ present the same flower is called bisexual flower. Actinomorphic condition, generally actinomorphic condition. A flower can be divided into two equal halves at more than one median longitudinal plane. But except some species are zygomorphic conditions. That's a neat question. And hypogenous flowers, I mean, all the flower whorls are arises below the ovary. Flower is said to be hypogenous, so ovary is said to be superior ovary. But the maximum ectomorphic, some species are zygomorphic condition. It can be divided into two equal halves, only one vertical plane. For example, Scysandus pinnatus. Scysandus pinnatus. Another one is Salpiglossis. These are the example for zygomorphic conditions. The next, calyx. Outermost word of the flower is called calyx. Calyx are made up of sepals. Generally, the sepals are 5 in member. Single unit of calyx is called sepals. Sepals are usually green in color. It protects the flower in wet conditions. The number of sepals are 5. Then gamosepalous. Gamosepalous. Sepals are fused with one another in so being valvate estivations. Valvate estivations. Then all sepal is and posterior in conditions. Only one sepal. All sepal is posterior in positions. Then what is called anterior and posterior? The parts of the flower towards the mother axis, these are called posterior. Away from the posterior is called anterior. Heart sepal, only one sepal is the towards the mother axis and differ from the other sepals. So that is why the heart sepal is posterior in positions. The next corolla. Some species, I will remember once again, usually calyx are fall after the opening of flowers. But in some species, the calyx does not fall down even after the fruit formations. Such calyxes are called persistent calyx. So generally here, persistent. Persistent. So the persistent, two types of persistent. One is accrescent, then mescescent. There are two types of persistent calyx. Persistent in the sense that calyx does not fall on. This is persistent. Two types. Accrescent actually, calyx are developed along the fruit development. It does not fall on. These are called accrescent. For example of accrescent, physalis. Then Withania somniferum, commonly called as ashwagandha, the Withania somniferum. These are called accrescent calyx. Especially physalis leaf poshet, the calyx are developed to enclose the fruit. They look like a balloon-like structures. Physalis, accrescent calyx. Then mescescent calyx are hard and dry condition. Thick, hard, dry. Sometimes shows bell-shaped calyx. For example, Solanum melangina. It is a binomium of brinjal. Brinjal commonly called as a eggplant. The calyx are shows bell-shaped persistent calyx. In persistent, what are type? Mescescent. So these are the calyx types. Remember, accrescent, for example, physalis and Withania somniferum, and mescescent, for example, Solanum melangina. Especially physalis are balloon-shaped calyx. Next, corolla. It is a second one of the flower is called corolla. Corolla is made up of petals. The number of petals are 5 petals. Then gamopetalous. Petals are fused with one another in showing either valvate or imbricate distributions. But sepal shows only valvate distributions. But petal shows either valvate or imbricate. Valvate without overlapping. Imbricated with overlapping distributions. Petals 5. They are highly different color to attract the insect for pollination. They are fused with one another. That is called gamopetalae and showing valvate or imbricate distribution. But in some species the petals are bell-shaped. Bell-shaped petals are also called infundibuliform. These are the shape, bell-shaped or infundibuliform. Infundibuliform is nothing but a funnel-shaped corolla. Funnel shape. For example, datura. Petals of datura. It is a petals. It is a funnel shape. It is a calyx. Corolla, funnel shaped or bell shaped corolla. But some species are bilabiate. Petals are divided into two lips, are bilipped or bilabiate. Bilipped corolla. Bilipped corolla. For example, Sisalus. Sisalus, bilipped. It is a sepals, it is a petal. Bilipped or bilabiate corolla tube. For example, Sisalus. The next, Ambrosia.